I'm Mark Steck, and I'm out here calling coyotes with the boys, and they're all keyed up to be hunting coyotes with a celebrity such as myself. Aren't you, boys? So anyway, we've worked hard to get into this location. It's a great location. We got a big, broad field of view, and best of all, we're downwind from any approaching coyote that comes in. Yes, Caleb, what's on your mind, young fella?
Shouldn't we be upwind?
No, we shouldn't be upwind. We need to be downwind, and you get your own TV show, and then you can open that big mouth of yours. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I'm about ready to give it a toot. You want to pick out a call there? And when I say give it a toot, I coined that phrase. If you hear that on any other show, they got it from me. Oh, very good choice. All right, you guys get ready because those dogs are going to come pouring in. Hand me the gun. Psst. Hey, hand me the gun. You don't have the gun, do you? You forgot the gun. Son of a... Help me up. God darn it.
Hey everyone, today you're going to be following Mark Steck as he travels western South Dakota snaring coyotes. I hope you enjoy.
These bloodshot eyes of knowledge, too proud to ever behold the all that is this and nothingness out on the bad river road, out on the bad river road.
Well, we're in an area of western South Dakota, northwestern, and it's a rough country and there's a lot of snow. And this particular line we're running, we needed tracks, and it was hard to set because the snow was so fresh. The coyotes didn't have enough time to mill around. Day 2 we set on a little fresher sign, and then day 3 the sign was perfect. But what we're in right now, we set 2 snares down this draw because it was drifted, and there was just no coyote sign to set on. And when you get into snow, you like to set on fresh sign because you're going to connect usually. So we did the best we could here, and so we're going to have some dogs though, there's no doubt about it. Nothing here. Okay, we got a coyote here, and this was just a set made by the tracks on the side-by-side, and they set up. The snow sets up, it gets hard as rock, and so the coyotes will follow it, and it's drifted in a little here now, so it's hard to see where the tracks were, but one coyote got caught, and it looks like he got caught probably after a little bit of drifting had occurred. And there's some other coyote tracks coming in here. In fact, maybe it's possible this coyote here is the guy that got caught. Well, it's hard to know though, but another one or this one made tracks here. He's wound up pretty good, and unfortunately he's not a keeper. He's got some severe issues. And that's just coyote trapping. I mean, on a good year, you keep 4 out of 5. On a bad year, maybe 3.5 out of 5. It's just the way it is. But it's nice when there's no doubt about it, when there's no decision to be made. We'll get him out of here, and I can show you why we aren't going to keep him. He's got severe rubbing on both sides, and he's breaking in the neck area. He's probably real red down here, It's beyond red, actually. He's got mites or fleas, and so he's rubbing on everything just because he's so miserable. And that's what causes it, and it can start even at Thanksgiving time, but it gets worse as the winter goes on. We can't, his mouth is frozen shut. At some point I'll show you a little bit about aging a coyote. I'm gonna get my hardware off of him, and we'll leave him. We're just gonna leave him behind. It's too bad.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Shields All Sports. Follow your passion for everything outdoors. By Dakota line snares and trapping products. Snares loaded for speed. And by Wiebe fleshing and skinning knives. We are wicked sharp. We are Wiebe.
He's caught low. I bet this was the coyote tracks coming in here because he's caught so low and he was walking on top of the snow. And so he walked through that loop and he got part of his body through. Otherwise he would have been neck caught. Actually, I take that back. He is caught higher up than I thought. He's just wrapped up on his legs a little bit. This has the death blow cam lock on it. Oh, I didn't quite get it cut. That nut shot off because the mini torque spring is compressed. I'll probably say it a few times, but I don't use this type of snare anywhere there's dogs, anywhere and ever. And I'm out really in remote western country. If there's a dog out here, it shouldn't be here. The ranchers know what I use. The beauty of these mini torque cam locks here, they're small, so they're hard to see. They're actually death blow cam locks is what they're called. And you can just reuse them and reuse them. If you use 1x19 wire, it may wear the teeth, but 7x7 it doesn't. So it's nice to get a coyote, but man, it's too bad that he's not any good. I'm going to show you one of our track sets here where we did not catch a coyote. We could have, And I would not say we should have, but we could have. And the question is, did this coyote get lucky? Did he purposely sidestep? We'll never know, but let's take a look at some tracks here if we can. Hopefully you can see this. We've got him coming towards the snare. That's about 6 feet away. And he's kind of on this side of the track. And he's probably just walking along. And now I lose the track, but I might have kicked some snow up here, but his track at the snare went right here and right here. And so he probably hit the snare or hit this weed here, and he probably bumped the snare. There's no doubt he hit the snare, but his nose didn't go on the right side. If he'd have just turned his head a little bit. And sometimes I've seen this happen where it hits their back, they go under it, and something doesn't feel right and they take off running. But I don't think he did that because we got tracks up here. And a lot of times on trails I'll set a couple, 3 snares, maybe 4. And I've seen where they walk around one and then they'll walk right through the next one and you'll have that same dog. You can follow the tracks in the snow right to it. So this is just trapping, I guess. It's like anything else. And I'm pulling today, but you know, this guy, he's gonna be out there yet, unless we caught him down the road here. Kind of cool, kind of fun being able to see what happens. We've got coyote number 3 today, and it's really a beautiful day out. It's just good to be out here. And you know, you'll never see a person out in this country this time of the year. And so it's a nice coyote. It's a really nice coyote. I've already cut him loose. He tangled up tight, and that's what killed him. And you want to kill your coyotes. You want to kill them or they're going to get away on you. But tangling them is the best way to kill a coyote. And what happens is when they tangle up on smaller brush, trees, shrubs, maybe no more than that big around, they get leverage around their neck, and it cuts off the carotid artery, the blood flow to the head. And to my knowledge, that's how animals always die in a snare. It's not the air being cut off. They die by the blood being cut off. And I've seen coyotes die in snares before, and it's quick. They dispatch snares out twice. I've seen them take a lunge, and they tip over, and their respirations get high, and their eyes dilate, and then it's over. They're just incapacitated. So what I'd like to do though, this looks like a smaller coyote. Look at that nice fur. Oh, that's beautiful. And let's take a look at its teeth once here, because this is a smaller coyote. My guess is it's a pup. And by looking at the teeth, I can tell a pup from an adult. Now I've caught some critters that their teeth are really worn and you assume they're old, but I don't think I could measure the coyote's age by the teeth other than a pup or an adult. And you got these stair steps here. I think, are these called the incisors? I can't remember. But anyway, you got these stair steps. And so this pup hasn't been on this planet for very long. I mean, he probably was born in April, maybe March. And so he's maybe 8 months old. It's December now. And so very clearly a pup. He's probably going to go as a heavy, good color. Very nice. 3rd one of the day. 1st one going in the buggy though. So I'm very pleased with this coyote.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Redneck Convent, gear for the rugged, tough outdoors. By F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, everything you need for trapping and hunting. And by Southern Snares Trapping Supply, our customer success is our priority.
Okay, I want to show something interesting here. And I got a rock here that my buddy before me here that was trapping, he had a set here. And the coyote came up and peed on that rock. He always uses that rock every year, year after year. And he had caught a porcupine here. And it's, by the way, it's bitter cold right now. And the coyotes, they need some calories bad. And so he had thrown the porcupine over here. And it took just a few minutes for me and Galen, the guy running the camera here, to figure out what happened. But this coyote pulled the porcupine out of its final resting spot and drug it out here. And we haven't tracked to where he left it, but he's drug it as far as the eye can see. And these porcupines, I mean, a small one is 15 pounds. They get really big. You can see it looks like an otter slide almost, but he's dragging that porcupine. I've never seen anything like it. I know they like porcupines. I've seen what I call a porcupine party, where 4 or 5 coyotes kill a porcupine and they eat it, and then you catch most of them. They come back for more.
Hi, I'm Caleb with Dakota Line Snares. Today I've got the Versatile Snare. It's going to be our hottest selling snare on our line. Comes with a large hole, low pro lock. It is good for anything from 5/64 to 3/32 cable. It's got that generous size V on the bottom to help it slide through the cable. It's a very relaxing lock. Comes with a floating deer stop, so you can set that to your state's regulations. A medium poly support collar and a 9-gauge swivel to anchor it down. Comes in a standard finish you see here, our Ghost Rider, which is a dull gray, and our Pale Rider, which is more of a tan finish, just different finishes for different environments. It's a loaded snare. It's very quick. It's going to be good for anything from coon, fox, coyote, beaver. Again, that's the Versatile Snare by Dakota Line.
Well, we've got coyote tracks coming right up here. I can see the snare still hanging, and I bet it's a refusal. Happens, you see it more in snow than any other time. You know, the coyote came up, and he came up to right here, and then he turned around. And that just happens. And in this case, maybe the snow behind him, behind the snare, skylighted the snare a little bit, who knows. But he didn't like it, so he turned around. So no critter there. All right, let's read a little sign here. And these old diggings, and this isn't real old, this is and in fact, there's something living in there. I can tell by the frost. It hasn't been out in a few days, but these really attract coyotes. And you'll get bobcats attracted to these. There's pheasant tracks in through here. And so whenever I get these, when I'm foothold trapping, I'll save some muskrat carcasses and throw them down a hole and just bed a trap in there, and they really work good. They really work good. And there's deer tracks coming around here. There's coyote tracks. They're kind of old, but there's coyote tracks here. There's a turd here, and I guess in our world we call it scat. There's some cow scat, but right here, this is about the size of a cat scat, but it's not segmented like I would expect it to be, so I'm a little baffled as to what it is. It doesn't look like coyote scat. And you want to be careful with these type of things because they can be full of bacteria. And I've had pretty much every disease on this planet from touching scat, and so I'm immune to most of that. So I'm just going to carefully pick it up here. And I'm still not really sure. No good. I'm not sure what it is. All right.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Cold Creek Trapping Products, serious trapping gear for the serious trapper. By MarkSteck Animal Lures, top quality baits and lures with proven performance. And by Wiebe Knives. Don't ever get caught in the field again with a dull knife.
That's the Galen Lems snare support. You may just see it for sale at Dakota Line. We're just setting in some tracks is all. It's kind of hard when you get heavy snow and blowing snow. And it's really fresh snow, so it's hard. We want to set on sign, but you can't always do it. The downside of this spot is we might be vulnerable to eagles, but the coyotes are going to follow these tracks. There's no doubt about that if they come upon them. Of course, that's a Dakota Line snare, so he lives about 10 miles away from Dakota Line.
There we go.
All right. Well, we've got a snare up here, and I'm pretty sure it's knocked down. And when I set this, there was one lone set of coyote tracks coming up here, and now it's filled in with deer tracks, and that's a problem. Deer are just going to knock it down, if not get a leg catch, and then they tear up the set before the breakaway happens. So I'm going to pull this, but I want to show you just what a knockdown looks like here. It's just, in this case, they knocked the snare down, and so it's about that far closed, and it was sitting right down here, so nothing got caught in it. It just got bumped and knocked down. And if we were going to reset this, it's a matter of just going like that. Now, if a jackrabbit comes under here, he's going to hit it, and it's going to stay right in place. That's why I set the lock over at this direction. So it takes a little bit of pull to bring it uphill and then down. So little critters, they'll just hit it like that. Even a deer, a lot of times they'll hit it, they'll go over it. They might go like that, and it springs back, and it's still good. But I'm going to pull this. There's got to be 4 or 5 deer that came through here. And the trail is wonderful for coyotes, but why fight the deer? We'll get the coyotes somewhere else. Okay, well, we caught a coyote here, and actually we got a double, and they both are just decimated by eagles, and it's not the ideal thing. I mean, some years I do run 10% of loss to eagles, but today we've caught 5 coyotes, and we've only put 1 in the buggy. One was broke real bad, so we didn't take it, but 3 have been taken by eagles, and he died on the spot here, and the eagles just feasted on him. And then up behind the cameraman, we have one where they even pulled the tail off. I've never seen anything like that. So I guess it is what it is, as they say. And that's it for the day. 5 coyotes, 1 in the buggy.
There's a little left of something else out on the bad river road.
And we caught them down in a little
Out
stream
on
bed.
the bad
And they
river
love
road.
running these stream beds once they're hard enough to walk on. And if
The
you
whole
can find
wide
them
world's
4
at your
years old,
fingertips.